It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. It's the only daily boxing talk show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of boxing talk radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
Coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C Show. Good morning, good day, good evening, whenever you're listening or watching. Hope you're doing A-OK. Today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant, located on beautiful St. Simons Island in Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. Find out why I go all the way to St. Simons to get a decent slice of pizza, but better yet, to get an authentic Italian meal. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by the next Billy C Boxing Get-Together. It's taking place at the luxurious Sea Palms Resort on St. Simons. Check it out, man. We want you to come and join Sal and myself, along with former world champions Marlon Starling, Bobby Ches, Mike Weaver, a renowned trainer out of Tampa, Sherman Henson, and we may sprinkle in a couple other guests as the time goes on. We're going to be handling this August 25th, 26th, we will have a meet and greet. We will actually, you finally get to see Sal Rocky Senacola work out, because Sherman Henson is going to work him out. And a little birdie told me that Sherman's going to be working him to death. So we can't wait to see Sal Rocky Senacola hitting the mitts and doing some other things. Maybe we'll have him do some backflips, too. I don't know. But you get to watch that. You get to hang out with the former world champions, picture ops, get to eat a little bit at the Sea Palms. Then we're all going to watch an episode. You're going to get a sneak preview of one of our new television shows, Billy C Boxing's Revisited, and we'll show you that. Then Saturday morning, we'll be doing a little golf tournament. That's right. We'll be doing a little golf tournament at the PGA-rated course at the Sea Palms. Then truck on over to Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria, crash his place, make sure that everybody tastes his food. And then we're going to end the evening watching McGregor Mayweather. So, hey, where would you rather be to watch that circus of a fight than with us? Visit our website, BillyCBoxing.com, and click on the Sea Palms. Give them a call. Tell them you want the Billy C Boxing package. And finally, today's show is being brought to us in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage, The Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. Find out why I'm so adamant about educating you guys on Tom Molyneux. Tom Molyneux really was the first American heavyweight champion and should, for all intent and purposes, be considered the first world heavyweight champion 100 years before Jack Johnson, for example, was a heavyweight champion. So check that out. Today's show, coming up a little bit later, scheduled to join us is Boxing Hall of Famer Larry Hazard. We'll get his thoughts on some stuff. We may or may not be doing the blast from the past. It looks like Alex won't be able to make it. So I don't like doing the blast without him. So if we don't get a chance to do it, we will carry it over and do it next time, which will probably be in 2 weeks. Because as you recall, programming note, we're on TBD, to be determined for next week, due to my obligation for jury duty. I'm not happy about it, but got to do what you got to do, I guess. Otherwise, they're going to throw me in jail and fine me $1,500. So, hey, it makes me laugh. A jury selection should be people that actually want to do it. Why force people to do it? He's guilty. Let me out of here. I got someplace to go. He's guilty. But anyway, today I want to officially break down and give you our predictions for the fight this weekend between Adrien Broner and Mikey Garcia. So that's coming up. We do have some news that I want to talk about as the show gets going here. And one of the first things is, in my opinion, one of the best fights we've gotten to see so far this year was Anthony Joshua against Vladimir Klitschko. Not only was it an action-packed fight with lots of drama from both sides, but it was in the heavyweight division, something that we're not usually accustomed to seeing, at least these days, where you got two big men going all at it, where we had a lot of action, we had knockdowns, we had displays of heart and determination, and it was just a great fight. Well, we all know that the rematch is going to happen. Vladimir Klitschko had the option to take the rematch or not. I personally feel that why do it? But hey, he's going to take another shot at probably another $25 million. But it was announced yesterday by Eddie Hearn, who's the promoter, or at least one of the promoters, that the date has already been kind of penciled in, November 11th. But here's the thing. It's penciled in Vegas, in Las Vegas. My question today on this fight is why? Why are they having it in Vegas when they were so successful having this fight in London? Not only did they have 90,000 people live in attendance, but the pay-per-view was over there anyway. It was good. I know we showed it. I don't think it was a pay-per-view here. I think we showed it on regular television or Showtime. But are they really shifting gears and going 100% pay-per-view? And why not still hold it in London? I mean, I thought that one of the biggest parts that I loved about this fight was the atmosphere and the energy that 90,000 people, fans, especially European fans, brought to this fight. They'll never be able to duplicate that in Las Vegas. Never in a million years. Joining me right now with his thoughts, my man Sal, Rocky Senecola. And Sal, I'm a little disappointed. I kind of wanted to see this fight again in London. Whether it's a pay-per-view, whether it's on HBO, whatever, or Showtime, I just feel that the energy from 90,000 fans really brought to this fight. What's your thoughts on them potentially having it in Vegas?
Well, Vegas is also a world stage, and it's provided a good atmosphere, and surely we'll be saturated with betting and everything else here. But I'll be satisfied with Vegas. I loved the atmosphere that London had too. I mean, it was great. It's absolutely beautiful in the UK. I mean, these guys, the fans are phenomenal, and it's going to be a trade-off. We'll see. We'll see how we receive it here, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people coming over across the pond, but we'll also have a lot of domestic that are here from across the pond originally. So it's going to be a good venue. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, but
but I do love that live audience. I mean, they're so gregarious, they're so passionate, and with a stein of beer or whatever they have in their hand, or a pint, not a stein, a pint or whatever. It's a festivity. It really is. These guys are passionate. They love to rally behind their guys, and they let it be known by their passion and excitement. And it's electrifying. It really is.
Yeah, first of all, what I love about the UK fans, especially on a big event, and you hit it on the head. These types of matches, these matchups between two top guys, especially in the heavyweight division, like we saw the first time around, it's an event. And, to cram 90,000 people into a venue, And like you suggest, these guys have a blast. I'm talking about these guys, meaning the fans. They have a blast at these events, and it's a diversified group. I mean, there's young, there's old, there's pure boxing fans. Then there's the marginal fan. I mean, it really makes the atmosphere so much better. And, as a fighter, I'm sure that they would much rather feel that energy coming from both sides. Whether you feel, that the fans are going against you, that should, jack you up a little bit, and vice versa. You have the fans with you. It makes you feel a little more stronger and more invincible. By moving it to Vegas, I really see one benefit, and that's capturing the U.S. pay-per-view crowd. And although I'm sure Box Nation will have it over in the U.K. For the U.K. fans and all of Europe, I just feel that this fight, the magnitude of this fight, and how successful the first one was, and what everybody's anticipation for the second one was, deserves to be in the UK again, only because I really feel that energy Sal brought to this fight, and Vegas, no disrespect to Vegas, because I love Las Vegas, but that'll travel over. First of all, let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. The United States does not attract, 90,000 fans to a boxing match. I don't care who's there. They just don't. The biggest venue we have that has had, I think 50 or 60,000 was a Pacquiao fight at the Cowboy Stadium. That's it. Which is, that's a big crowd. But remember, they added 10,000 people into the in London so that they could house it there. I don't know. I would like to see it in Europe. You got two European fighters. The fight should be in Europe.
Well, you got a good point there. And, what I love about the venue in Europe is, you have a integrated cultural commingling, if you will. You have which is redundant from integrated, but you have the upper class, the middle class, the lower class, and they're one and the same when they get into a boxing arena. I mean, here we're going to expect to see ringside a lot of celebrities, and that's another thing. We're going to see a lot of boxing celebrities. We're going to see a lot of movie star or Hollywood celebrities, and so that's one of the other things that you're going to see here, I think, magnified than you would in the UK. You may see an occasional here and there celebrity there, but I think here they want to try and get a lot of our domestic stars or so sitting ringside.
Like my man New Rose in the chat room says, the women, they all love Anthony Joshua, and they're there too, and it's just, in England, they just have such a more energetic fan base, and maybe the pints of beer have something to do with it. I don't know. Hey, listen, we're gonna take a shot. Hold that thought. We got to take a break. Hold it. Okay, good. Sal's holding it. We'll be right back.
Billy C will be right back.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us. And just before we went to break, Sal and I were discussing the penciled-in date of November 11th for the rematch between Vladimir Klitschko and AJ, Anthony Joshua, and tentatively scheduled for having this fight in Las Vegas. And I personally think that it's not the smartest move. I loved it over in the UK, and I feel that the 90,000 fans really brought some energy and excitement to this fight and helped the fighters. Vegas just can't do it. 10, 20,000 people just can't, basically copy that. And I know that maybe financially they'll be better off because of the pay-per-views, but I'm not so sure. Before we went to break, Sal, you still holding on?
I'm still holding that thought.
All right.
All
right, man. Let it go. Let it go. Unleash it. Unleash it, baby.
Okay. Wow. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, okay. Now, you know what else it is, though, Bill? I see this also as a good way to market Anthony Joshua. I mean, let's face it. We haven't seen a real good heavyweight championship bout out of Vegas. When's the last one we saw?
Geez, that's a good question.
I
know. Maybe
am I allowed to do that, or do you want Batman? Okay, anyway, so listen, I think this is a great way to give him national exposure, world exposure, because Vegas is a world stage as well. And I think, they're marketing Anthony Joshua. And why not? Because I think it'll be a great thing to have him come to the United States of America and fight in one of the greatest, most exciting cities in the world here, Las Vegas. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing they're not doing it in the UK. And I think it'll give us good international exposure and domestic exposure and for us. And I think he'll pick up a lot of fans here.
Well,
win, lose, or draw.
Thanks to technology, Sal. It doesn't matter where the fight is, the people in the United States can still watch it as long as they put it on.
But they want to be there. They want to touch them.
Yeah,
they want to say, "Hey, I was at the heavyweight championship of the world."
But that's the problem. That's the problem with the U.S. fans. They don't go there. They watch it at home on their couch. That's my point.
Vegas is going to give the high rollers free tickets and everything
free
else.
Tickets, exactly. Free tickets means that you got people that aren't really boxing fans. Listen. You can't compare the audience from the UK when it comes to boxing to the United States. I'm sorry, you can't. Now,
you can't. I can't even debate you on that.
Right.
Right.
So my point is you're taking that away. You're chisel. Even if they go in a venue that can hold, I don't know if they're going to go in the new T-Mobile Arena, which seats a little more, or the MGM. Which is the biggest one. They seat about 15,000. Let's say they go to T-Mobile and they end up with 25,000. That's still 70,000 people less than what they had in the UK. And as far as the audience, you make a great point. coming over to the United States and try to get fans in the U.S. Here's the thing about boxing. Boxing already has fans, and it's a global sport. So in other words, we don't care anymore where the fighters are from. I mean, yeah, you know, if you're from the UK, you kind of pull for your UK fighters, and you're from the US, you pull for your US fighters. But listen, we talk about this on the show all the time. You know, the UK fighters are more willing to fight. You know, they're more willing to fight each other. You know, the European fighters they're willing to fight anybody, you know. And the U.S. fighters are too careful. We're too careful. Safety first. You know, it's like, don't lose. Don't get enough. Come on. You know, why reward those fans and have a fight like this here in the States? It makes no sense except for one. Except for the pay-per-view. They're looking to capture the pay-per-view buys here in the States. They know that the European fans are already going to pay. They know that that's going to happen. Box Nation will already get the revenue streams that they want. Last time around, it was on regular TV. It was actually shown on both networks, Showtime Live, and then HBO showed that fight later on. So, you know, they got a deal there. And they're being a little greedy. They're probably saying, well, you know, the fight was so good, the pay-per-view will be better, you know, we'll make more money. I get it, you know. But as far as the product, the fight, I can't see the energy level or the excitement level, regardless of the way the fight goes, to be equal to the first one, Sal.
Like I said, I think it's going to be a showcased event here in the United States, and they're going to market it. They're going to have plenty of celebrities. They're going to pan the camera around ringside. There's George Clooney. There's this one. There's that one. I don't know. Is George Clooney in the United States anymore? Or is he over in Europe? But anyway, I'm just, you know, they're going to have those fight fans that are associated with Hollywood trying to sit ringside, and it's just gonna be, like I said, even though the UK has their positive and their great way of doing things over there, you know us in the United States, they're gonna market this as an event, and you're gonna see celebrities, you're gonna see the commentators getting behind the venue, excitement. They're going to make it. And you know what? It's not going to be bad to introduce here, you know, these guys, Anthony Joshua and Klitschko, to fight here, the heavyweight championship of the world. I think it's a good venue. I think it's a good choice. And because you also said it's about money, it's about the pay-per-view, and that's what this bottom line is. You know that. Yeah. And so it's a gimme.
Yeah. And as far as
give you or give me, but it's a gimme.
As far as excitement and the commentators and all that, who cares? You know, and that's my point, Sal. You know, what you're defending and making as a positive is my point of why it's a negative. You know, the commentators don't make the fight, Sal.
No, they do not. You are right.
Well, here's the problem. You know, in the U.S., that's what happens when you have, and we're talking about a commission in the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and Bob Bennett, who's got no hair on his you-know-whats, that the same guy that approved McGregor Mayweather with a fighter in Mayweather who's 49-0 against a pro debut. This is the same commission that has sunk so deep into the abyss that, you know, it's a joke. And you know, as far as creating excitement, what are we doing? We're creating fluff, like you say. We're creating sizzle without a we're creating sizzle without a steak. I mean, listen, they're riding tails of the success of the first fight and trying to capitalize monetarily in the U.S., which I get, but my point still remains the same. They could have the fight in the UK and still have a pay-per-view in the U.S., still cater to the pay-per-view audience in the U.S., because the fat USA fans aren't going to come out and watch it like they would in England, all right? It's not going to happen. They're going to sit home and watch it on their couch. That's what we do in the United States. It's a fact. You know, you look at these, and I'm talking about boxing. You know, you look at boxing venues. I mean, Floyd Mayweather Jr. can't even sell out. I mean, here's a guy that sells millions of pay-per-view. He can't even sell out the MGM in his last fight there, 15,000. Didn't even sell it out. They didn't even sell out the tickets yet for the McGregor Mayweather fight. I'll get to that a little later. Didn't even sell it out. When you had Anthony Joshua Klitschko, it sold 90,000 seats, Sal, in a couple of hours. All right,
I know it did.
They didn't even sell out McGregor Mayweather yet.
Oh, it did.
You know, I mean, listen, it's a mute point. It's not. This fight should be taking place in the UK. I want the energy from the fans. It makes the fight. It does. I'm sorry. It does. I have to disagree. Sal, you know I love you, my man, but I disagree with you 100%.
I love you too, Bill, and I'll tell you what. I am going to debate the issue from a standpoint of, let's look at it from the black and white issue here. Maybe it's a way we're marketing boxing back to the United States. Maybe we're trying to do these things. I don't think so. I don't know it has a lot to do with the money. But the bottom line is, let's look at the positive sides. I don't disagree of where you're coming from. And if this fight was in the UK, I'd be very happy. It's no problem. But now that it's here, I'm from the side, let's embrace it, and let's welcome it, and let's promote it, and let's look at the positive attributes of it being a World Heavyweight Championship fight out of Vegas. We're going to have the celebrities electrify this, that, everything else. It's going to be big. It's going to be an event. They're going to market it. They're going to sell it. And, hey, it's right here in the United States. They're bringing a heavyweight championship bout to the United States. So that's how I'm looking at it on that level. Yeah, and that's all. That's all.
I got you. But here's the thing. Once again.
You got it. You know what?
Once again.
Here's the thing. You and I, we're Italian. We're hard-headed. And you're not going to convince me, and I'm not going to convince you. But we're a stalemate.
But here's the problem. You're saying, the celebrities will be there to put the cameras on this guy and that guy, and it's like, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not making a fight. You're giving me all the reasons why I want it in England. You're giving me all the reasons. You're defending my position. And the thing is I want to see the fight. I want it to be about the fighters. And this is the problem.
Fire, pal.
Yeah, but let me say, this is the big problem we have with boxing.
Fuel into the fire.
They make it like it's about the other people involved. Let's be real. It's fighter A against fighter B. It's not fighter A and fighter B featuring referee so-and-so. Hey, look in the second row. We got celebrity so-and-so. Who gives a crap? I want to see the fight. I don't care who's there. When you see celebrities come, yes, you say to yourself, okay, the interest level is there. Even my favorite actor is here. Even my favorite sports star is here. Gotcha. I know. But they're coming to see the fight. If they're coming to make sure the camera's on them, I don't want to see an event that's going to span the audience. And I got to be honest, a lot of times when I'm watching fights at home, I do look at the audience and see who's there. I get it. I'll admit, I do, but I don't think it should be like that. I think that this, especially a fight this big, I just don't. But anyway, hey, listen, Sal.
There's Sylvester Stallone sitting ringside. Yeah, real life Rocky.
Oh, whoa. God. Would you and the Rocky, I talked to Jeremy last time. I'm like, what's Sal in this Rocky thing? He acts like it's a real fight. But listen, don't go anywhere. Well, we're going to kick you to the curb.
I got more thoughts I'm going to hold.
No. We're going to kick you to the curb now. We're going to come back after Larry's segment. But you and I have to break down and give our official predictions on the big fight schedule for this weekend. Adrien Broner against Mikey Garcia. I know that you're tuning in to see what our thoughts are on that. The Klitschko Anthony Joshua rematch is a topic today that we wanted to talk about. So, Sal, go get your coffee, go fill up, do what you got to do.
What I got to do.
And we will be back to you in about a half hour, my man.
I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much.
We're going to be talking. I promise that we will be talking about the fight this weekend between Adrien Broner and Mikey Garcia. But first, we got Boxing Hall of Famer Larry Hazard scheduled to join us. We'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
This message is for all Americans that owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS. Look, I know you want to keep ignoring those letters, but the problem isn't going away. It's really stressful, and you don't know where to turn.
The good news is you have rights, and we can help resolve your IRS problems.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, our qualified CPAs, tax negotiators, and support staff know the law and know how to get your situation under control legally and permanently.
Call the number on your screen now and we will contact the IRS on your behalf, help you end wage garnishments, stop collection calls, remove tax liens, get rid of IRS and state tax penalties, and reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. You wouldn't go to fix your car without going to a mechanic, so why face the IRS without an experienced company that can help you?
Let us take the stress of back taxes and the IRS off your shoulders so you can spend time on the important things in your life, like your family or your business. If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, call now and find out how we can help you.
Have you heard? Proactive Plus is faster and better than ever. Stay tuned for a $1 million bottle giveaway, and you'll also receive free shipping. Do you have troubled skin? Acne? Well, we have great news. With Proactive Plus, your acne can heal, and you can help prevent new breakouts from happening. Don't miss this limited time offer. Give us a call at 800-567-0214 because we're going to let 1 million people try Proactive Plus risk-free and get 2 free gifts and also receive free shipping when you call right now. You heard it. This offer won't last long. So call Proactive Plus now and you'll receive a 60-day risk-free trial of Proactive Plus, 2 free extras, and free shipping. Call 800-567-0214. This is our exclusive radio offer, never on TV. Get your risk-free 60-day trial of Proactive Plus with free shipping. That's right, free shipping. Don't wait. Call 800-567-0214. That's 800-567-0214.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us today. And speaking of being with us, joining us right now, a boxing Hall of Famer and my main man, Larry Hazard. Good morning, Larry.
Morning, Billy.
How you doing today? How you doing today, my man?
Very good, Billy. Couldn't be better.
Well, first of all, today is there's so many things that I wanted to talk to you about, and so little time. But first, I want to start off with, it was announced tentatively that it looks like the Anthony Joshua-Vladimir Klitschko rematch will be taking place. We kind of already knew that it was. Klitschko hasn't officially signed off on it, but they've already secured a date. And it looks like the location is going to be in Las Vegas. And I've been in a kind of a debate with my co-host Sal Rocky Senecola about this fight. And I feel that, first of all, the first fight was a great fight. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, we may have seen more action-packed fights, but for a heavyweight fight, we haven't seen one like this, and I can't remember when. It was action-packed. It showed heart, determination from both fighters. There was knockdowns. It ended in dramatic fashion. I mean, I loved every minute of it. I think it helped the sport immensely. And one of the things that I thought added to it, Larry, was the fact that it was in England and the fact that there was 90,000 fans there. I felt that added a lot of energy, et cetera, et cetera. They're talking about having this fight here in the States in Vegas in November. My first question is, do you think it's a smart move for them to have it in Vegas? I mean, I'm assuming that they want to capture the pay-per-view audience of the States, but what's your thoughts having it in Vegas versus back in England?
Well, I would, frankly speaking, and I haven't given it much thought, but now that you bring it up, I saw where they signed it for Vegas. I think that, personally, you go with where you had success. I would keep it in England because I would think that, it's all about getting those. They had over 90,000 people for the first fight, they probably would equal that or at least close to it for the second go-around because it was a tremendous fight. So I think that bringing it to the States, I guess this is a way of introducing Joshua to the American audience. But, I think it's going to be a bit of a loss in terms of fan output. I do think that it'll be a big draw in Vegas, but I don't know of any place in Vegas that could have where they could have it to have that many people. I don't know. But I would have kept it overseas because it was very successful. And, it's hard. It was very hard to even see an empty seat there. And the enthusiasm, for a fight like that, the enthusiasm was just overwhelming. So I would just go with, where I had the most success the first time around. So I would keep it overseas.
Yeah, first of all, you Jersey guys stick together because Sal was saying, he wants to introduce it to the U.S. fans and everything else. And I was like this, here's the thing. Thank God for technology because as long as it's available on U.S. television, which it was last time. Now, I understand that the goal here is the pay-per-view audience, right? So they want to tackle the pay-per-view audience. But what's the difference? The UK fans will show up. There's been many fights where they make these guys, these poor UK fans, show up at a fight to accommodate the U.S. television, so they're coming early in the morning or they're coming earlier in the afternoon, and they still fill up, And the enthusiasm from the UK fans blows away the U.S. fans. You watch these fans in the UK, all ages, all backgrounds, men, women, they're all having fun. Everybody's cheering, screaming, singing, they're singing for God's sakes. It's like it's a concert, and in the U.S. you see the same types of people. Yeah, you see some women there dressed to the hilt and all of that, but generally, unless there's other... unless there's European fans in the audience, a lot of times the U.S. venues are quiet. How many times, Larry? Come on, man! You've been to a million fights. How many times have you been sitting there ringside and you can literally hear, the guy in the last row sneeze or cough because it's so quiet in there? Sometimes it's terrible. You know that. Come on, man.
Well, sometimes it reminds you of the Japanese audiences. They don't cheer, they clap.
Right.
So that's a little culture shock also, I remember doing fights in Japan, and the damn people are clapping, and I'm like, what the hell are they clapping for?
Yeah, sometimes the boxing in the USA is like going to church, it's like real quiet, unless everybody's told to clap, they don't, it's like, wait a minute, this isn't Russia, come on, but...
but Billy, I think that Joshua and Klitschko, I think it still will sell. I think it still will bring out a lot of people in the U.S. Maybe not as many people.
Yeah, listen, in Vegas, let's say they have it at the biggest venue, the new venue, the T-Mobile Arena, right? What does it hold? 25,000. 10,000 more than the MGA. So even if they fill it up, you're talking 70,000, almost 70,000 less people. And the pay-per-view audience, because of the success of the first fight, the pay-per-view audience here in the States, remember, we got to see it on Showtime and HBO last time. They did a tape delay, I think, on HBO and live on Showtime. But, the pay-per-view audience, they're not going anywhere. They're still going to, and that's the sad part. The U.S. fans have a tendency to prefer to watch it at home, whereas the UK and rest of the European fans like to be there. It's an event. And Sal was saying to me before, he's going, well, they'll introduce them to the U.S. fans. Well, the boxing fans already know who he is. And, they can still focus on introducing them to more American fans through the television networks, right? Or, the cable networks. He says, well, there'll be celebrities there. They'll put the camera on and stuff. And whoa, wait a minute. Here we go. This is my big argument, Larry. it's about the fighters. I don't care that George Clooney's in the audience. You know, I mean, it's nice, but this is about Klitschko, AJ too. Not who's refereeing, not who's judging, not who's sitting in the third row. I mean, come on, that's the problem with the U.S. thinking.
Well, we know that, Billy. The old fight fans, guys like us. Yes, we know that, but the paradigm is changing. It has changed. Paradigm has changed, and to a degree, it is about the celebrities. It's about the glamour of Las Vegas. Once upon a time, you haven't made it in boxing unless you fought in Madison Square Garden. That was the premier destination, and it seemed like it was the measure of success to have fought in the Garden. So over time, some of that has changed because, there was a period in time where Madison Square Garden, even now, the Barclays Center is kind of stepping up and taking some of the glitz and glimmer from the Garden. But the Garden has so much history. Well, as much as I don't want to admit it, of course, New Jersey has had its run, but Las Vegas seems to have taken a lot of that glitz and glimmer away from places like Jersey and Madison Square Garden, meaning in New Jersey, the Convention Center in Atlantic City. And so, it's kind of like you haven't really arrived today unless you fought in Vegas. It's just the excitement of being there, and that's just the way the industry has kind of tilted. So I think that has a lot to do with it also. And the fighters themselves seem like they feel they've made it once they fought in Las Vegas for some reason. That's just my opinion.
I would have a hard time to disagree with you the way you put it. But my only thought is that boxing has become a niche within a niche. Sports are a niche in life, and I think boxing is a niche within sports, and the true boxing fan is so far and few in between now. And
yes.
Vegas may capture. See, this is my whole point. Vegas may attract that casual fan, or the guy that got the free tickets because he's a big gambler at one of the casinos or something, and they're going there just, hey, I was at that fight, But the difference with the 90,000 people that were in England to watch the first one, these guys were boxing fans, and it just, I get it about, hey, we're in Vegas, we're the glitz, the glamour, all of that, but there's got to be some positive for a fighter when they're in that ring and they're looking around them and there's 90,000 people, whether they're cheering for you or they're not cheering for you. It's got to motivate you. If they're not cheering for you, you want to show them that they should be cheering for you. If they are cheering for you, you're like, I got to perform. These are my people, and it's just, it has to be. I've never fought in front of an audience like that. As a matter of fact, I've never even covered a fight in front of an audience like that. The biggest fight I ever covered was at Madison Square Garden. So, I couldn't even imagine, that kind of atmosphere. I've never been involved, So honestly, I don't know, but I can definitely make an assumption that it's got to be fantastic, And I think that the fight. I really think not only was the fight great, Larry, don't get me wrong, the fight was great, but I think that atmosphere added to it. I really do.
Well, I have to agree with you there. It does get the adrenaline going, so, that atmosphere, and the one thing, whether they're cheering for you or not, 90,000 people, they came to see you, whether they're cheering for you or not. They definitely came to see you, so that has to make a difference.
The other aspect, the ticket sales. Here we got, and I'm going to kind of bring this other topic in because here they sell 90,000 tickets in a couple of hours, right, for this fight.
Yeah.
A couple of hours sold out, right? Well, actually, they did it in 2 stages, if you recall. They sold 80,000, and then the whole mayor of the city and everything, made accommodations to accommodate 10 more thousand people, and then they put 10,000 seats on sale, and that sold out, quick, immediately, right? Well, our biggest ticket guy here in the United States, I mean, you can't argue. The biggest guy that we have is Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has sold, but remember something. He has sold pay-per-views, and that's an indication of the fans, right? When you look at his last fight at the MGM, they didn't sell out. They had 15,000 people, and they could have sold another 1,000 seats or whatever. A lot of seats were comped, et cetera, et cetera. And this is our biggest seller, right? So, to say that you're going to put it in Vegas when you sold 90,000 seats in collectively a couple of hours, and saying, "Oh, people are going to come," I'm sure they will, but it's a hard comparison, man. I mean, the fans in overseas just like to be at live events more than we do here in the States.
Well, I have to agree with you there. I have to agree. And getting back to Floyd, what happens a lot with Floyd, after you finish watching him, you just want to go to bed. You don't have to take the train. You don't have to drive anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so everybody always says the same thing after a Floyd fight. Why did I spend my money? Or I'm never doing that. I'm never doing that again. And then they do it, But speaking of Floyd, check this out. They still, now this is my point. Here this is, again, I'm going to throw the 90,000 fans, sells out, in a few hours collectively between the both times the sales went on for Klitschko. AJ Klitschko won. And now for the big McGregor-Mayweather fight, they still have tickets left right now. They did not sell out immediately, right? And here's all the options. You can pay anywhere from, I think it's $500 to $10,000 for a ticket if you can, get the lotto for, to get the secret code and all of that. There's still they're showing so many tickets left. They've been on sale for a couple of days now. Then you can spend $100 for the pay-per-view. You can go to one of, I think there's 5 or 6 other casinos in Vegas that are selling closed circuit tickets for $75. And now you can go buy it in the movie theaters for $40. I mean, yes, there's plenty of ways to make the money and to sell tickets, so to speak. But again, the live audience, that energy is not flocking the way they do in England.
Well, that your point is well taken there. But while you're on the Floyd subject with the tickets not selling, not selling, but not like you would think. Nowhere, I don't think it's anywhere close to Mayweather-Pacquiao when it was announced. And I think that's an indication also, while we're on that subject, I think that's an indication also of something that I think we discussed on the last show. I certainly don't feel the excitement for this McGregor-Mayweather upcoming event that I felt for Floyd and Pacquiao, even though we were disappointed in that fight. I still don't feel that pre-fight excitement. And then, that takes me to the WWF type of tour that they went on. I think that soured the fans even more, because they got a chance to kind of really look at that situation and come away with the feeling that, hey, this is really a joke, a pre-planned type of tour where they actually appeared to have run out of material, so then they started selling the race card right toward the end. So that tells you right there, and one thing I can say about boxing press conferences, I have never been to a boxing press conference where you have real rivals, and those guys like choreographed it. No, they were real. when Tyson and Lennox Lewis got into it, that was real. You know, and the list goes on and on and on. Boxing press conferences that get heated up, there's no rehearsing done in those situations. So I say that to say that people, fans, and the general public do have a sense of appreciation for the realness of a combative sports event, especially when it involves boxing, as opposed to what they're trying to sell with this Mayweather-McGregor situation.
Well, you know, with the Mayweather-McGregor, you know, and I talk to people. Everybody talks to me about this, you know, especially non-boxing fans, and I think that this is really indicative of who's going to be buying this fight. First of all, you know, when I ask people, you know, hey, do you think it's going to break the Mayweather-Pacquiao 4.4 million pay-per-views, right? Oh yeah, it's going to blow him away. That's what everybody.
I don't know. Okay.
And I say this. I say, you know what? I'm not sure, and the reason why is what you're stumbling on right now. The fact that boxing fans all agree. When you talk to a true boxing fan, hey, what do you think of this fight? Well, you know what the response is. It's a joke. It's a circus. This isn't a fight. You know, anybody that doesn't gamble is waiting for all the people betting money on McGregor for the odds to go down to lay a few bucks on Mayweather, because for the first time in 10 years you can get, you know, bettable odds and bet on a guy that's going to win the fight. I mean, you know, come on. Normally you're laying 1,500 to win 100 on his fights, you know, and now with all the money in on McGregor, I heard the last I heard was 400 to win 100, which isn't bad for this fight, you know. But I think what these press conferences that they did was the event. I think a lot of people went there for exactly what they got. And it's over because the fight itself isn't going to live up to what the shenanigans that went on at the press conference. And then the other thing is the people that are going to buy this are the casual sports fan, the guy or girl that wants to talk about it at the water cooler on Monday. And people say, oh, no, Bill, you're wrong. All the MMA fans are going to buy it. Well, no, you're wrong about that, because the MMA fans are similar to what I call, and I'm not disrespecting anybody, but what I call like a NASCAR fan. They will go and all hang out at one guy's house. 12, 15 people will all go and they'll pitch in their $5-10 and they'll hang out. So they'll get the eyes watching it, but I'm not sure they'll get the buys. They'll get the eyes, but not the buys. You know what I'm saying? It's different in boxing. We all want to watch it. We want to sit home. I don't care if anybody comes over and watches it. I'm buying it, you know, and that's the way it is. What's your thoughts on that?
Right. Well, no, I agree with that. You know, and they seem to, you know, I'm not an expert in the promotional aspect of this type of event, but just to me, and even I would think that a casual fan who has a certain level of intellect, either way, well, look at some of the things that they're doing. Now he's brought in McGregor. I would be asking myself, well, what am I paying for? And really, what am I watching? Well, here's a guy that stands to make $100 million, but yet he has to bring in a referee or someone from the outside to teach him the rules and regulations and all of this. I mean, it just seems so unreal, you know, that it has this circus-like atmosphere for me. And I really don't think that people are going to be willing to shell out, you know, $100 for that. You know, I'm so pessimistic about this event, Billy. I don't see it coming anywhere near Pacquiao, Mayweather, or I think as we even get closer to this event, you're going to hear even less and less about it.
Interesting. This weekend we got Adrien Broner fighting Mikey Garcia, and you know, I know you don't like to give predictions or anything, but I'll throw this at you. Adrien Broner's been talking a lot of smack like he always does. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. My big question really is, can he back it up? I mean, Mikey Garcia is the kind of fighter I think I know I like, and I'm pretty sure you like that kind of style. A blue collar, doesn't say much, lets his actions inside the ring do the talking. He's, challenged himself. He just wins. It seems like he doesn't even care. He just goes in there and does what he's got to do. It's a job. It's like he's going to the job site. And Broner's talking a lot of trash. He says he's gonna have no problem making weight. I saw some pictures of him earlier in the week. He looks as fat as me, for God's sakes. He's supposed to weigh 140 by Saturday. It almost looks like he's going to be focusing on weight, which is against him. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm used to fighters talking smack. I really don't have no problem as long as they keep it within the healthy realm of the sport. You're right. Mikey Garcia is the type of fighter that Adrien Broner seems to have difficulty with. That the type of fighter that comes, the blue-collar type guy that brings his lunch bucket. You can do all your talking, but when the bell rings, now you have to bring it, and let's see you back to talking up. And he's going to be right there in his face, okay, with the pressure. And I think it's going to be, a pretty interesting night, for Adrien, if he's not in shape and if he's not prepared. Because, I have to take you back once again. I saw Paulie Malignaggi in one of his best nights at the Barclays Center against Broner. And then Sean Porter, of course. And I haven't seen that much improvement in Broner. And that's what I look for in fighters like Broner that get a lot of, you get a chance to see them quite frequently. I look to see if the fighter is making improvements. And I haven't really been comfortable with the level of improvement in Broner in handling certain styles of fighters. So I think that Mikey Garcia has the type of style and will bring the type of pressure. And also, I look at the corner. I think that he has the type of cornerman, the trainer, that does give instructions and does seem to have the ability to adjust strategy during the fight. So there's a lot of pluses in Garcia's corner, and it's going to be. I think it's going to make for a very interesting night. So, we'll see how well. I kind of predict. I'm kind of predicting right now anyway, which in a roundabout way. But we'll see just how much that comes to pass when we talk. The next time.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you, you're 100% right. Broner's got a lot of yes men, rah-rah men in his corner. Garcia's got instruction. The battle of the corners, if it boils down to that, Garcia's got the edge. Garcia's much more professional. I think this fight really is important to Broner and the rest of his career. He has to at least look good. If he gets stopped in this fight, I think his value is going to plummet, and we may not see him again. But
that's very true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Hey, listen, Larry, we won't, like I said in an email, we won't be here next week, but we'll look forward to you the following week, my man.
Okay, I look forward to it, Billy.
All right, have a great weekend, brother.
Okay, you too.
Take care. That's Larry Hazard giving us his thoughts on a bunch of stuff today, and him and Sal, talking about Jersey, but I was saying the Jersey connection. Them saying, oh well, the excitement, the glitz, the glitter. I say have it in England when I'm talking about the AJ and Klitschko rematch, but nonetheless, I don't care as long as they have it. Hey, listen, I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, Sal and I will break down and give you our predictions on the Mikey Garcia Adrien Broner fight. Don't go nowheres.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching to the Billy C. Show. To the Billy C. Show? I don't know. You know what? These Jersey guys stick together. Joining me right now is the other Jersey guy, my man Sal Rocky Senecola. Hey, my man Larry, he mostly agreed with me, but, I couldn't believe he starts saying, the glitz, the glamour. I go, what is it with you Jersey guys?
We stick together. I had an early conversation with Larry. Not really. Another thing I wanted to say, and another thing.
What, Columbo?
No, it absolutely. Oh, by the way, yes, here's the other thing. One of the things I regret in my career, of course, not getting a title shot, but I did have an opportunity. I was supposed to fight Kenny Bazemore for the USBA title, and it was supposed to be in Madison Square Garden. And I missed that opportunity. That's another story for another day. But I wanted to fight in Madison Square Garden. I thought that was the home of the champions, and a stellar, legendary garden would have been great, even the Felt Forum. But the bottom line is, I was so looking forward to that opportunity, and it just fell through the cracks. We'll talk about that on another show. But the bottom line is, how about this? Anthony Joshua may want to fight in Las Vegas because, again, don't forget, he's a young guy. He grew up probably watching boxing like I grew up. My stellar hero was Roberto Duran, and when I got a chance to meet Duran and spar Duran, it was like, wow, my dream came true. Well, maybe one of his dreams is he watched Tyson. He watched all these guys fight in Vegas, and he said, hey, maybe I want to fight in Vegas. And so, let's look at it from that standpoint. It might be a goal for him. It might be a way that we're going to introduce Anthony Joshua to the United States. So either way, I don't think it's a bad thing. And I think we're just going to look at it and make it a positive as best we can. But, a fighter he does have some motivation, some incentives, and sometimes where the fight is could be an added incentive, and maybe he's always wanted to be in Las Vegas to fight in Las Vegas. So that's another fuel for the fire from my side. Thank you very much.
Well, the thing is that, and the truth of the matter is, believe it or not, despite Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, being the best heavyweight on the planet right now, and despite the fact that he won the first fight, Vladimir Klitschko is actually holding all the cards. He gets to say if he even wants to fight, number one. Number two, if he doesn't want to fight in Vegas, they don't have to fight in Vegas. So he's actually calling all the shots here as per the contract. So that's a little FYI. But anyway, Mikey Garcia against Adrien Broner this weekend, the big fight scheduled for this weekend. I know that we wanted to talk about this. We got off topic a little bit with the AJ Klitschko rematch, which is it just goes to show you how much more exciting when we start talking about fights like Anthony Joshua against Klitschko, Triple G against Canelo. I mean, it's just more excitement than McGregor, Mayweather, or even Adrien Broner, Mikey Garcia, even though I think this is going to be a good fight. First and foremost, Adrien Broner, he's a former world junior lightweight, junior welterweight, and welterweight champion. He has lost titles on scales. He has had a problem making weight. Right now, he's ranked by the computer at number 9 as a welterweight. Because remember, if he steps on the scale and he weighs 141, that's a welterweight now. That's not a junior welterweight. This fight is supposed to be fought at the junior welterweight limit. There is a fine, or I guess, I'll call it a fine. $500,000 you lose if you don't make weight, either fighter.
That's an incentive.
That's a $500,000 incentive. Adrien Broner is 27 years old. He's 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. The thing about these two guys is that physically they're very similar in height and reach and even age. Garcia is actually a little older, but whatever. They both have had the same amount of fights throughout their careers. So on paper, it's extremely evenly matched. Adrien Broner, he's got a record of 33 wins, 24 coming by knockout, and he's suffered 2 losses. He's got a 67% knockout ratio. I always liked Adrien Broner as a lightweight. And on his way up, as a junior lightweight and lightweight, he fought the guys and dominated the guys that put him on the map. Guys like Rafael Lara and Carlos Claudio. You may look at their records now and say they're not impressive, but at that time, back in 2010, these were significant fighters, including a win that he had over a fighter named Guillermo Sanchez. Now, Sanchez actually now has a terrible record, but at that time he was 11-1-1, and he was on the rise. When he beat veteran Lidio Julio, it was another big fight. He got a win over John Rivas, which wasn't. Rivas was a built-up fighter, but still, this was his climb. But the fight against Daniel Ponce de Leon really put him on the map. Daniel Ponce de Leon was a fighter. I love Ponce de Leon, and this was a tough fight. But it was able to showcase Adrien Broner's hand speed, his agility, his defensive powers, which made it very hard for him to get hit. It was a big instrumental win. In my opinion, for Adrien Broner. He followed that with wins over Jason Litzau and Eloy Perez. Was a title fight. He won the vacant title in the fight before Eloy Perez when he beat Vicente Martin Rodriguez for the vacant junior, the WBA calls it the super featherweight title. Then he beat Eloy Perez. He comes back and beats Vincent Escobedo. He moved up in weight, fought Antonio DeMarco, beat him. DeMarco, you could argue, had a lot of mileage on him. Gavin Rees was a big win for him in the lightweight division. Then he had some problems making weight. and jumped all the way up to the welterweight division and fought Paulie Malignaggi for Malignaggi's title in Brooklyn. And he won extremely, like Larry Hazard just said, he won an extremely controversial fight, a split decision win over Paulie Malignaggi. Most people, especially people in attendance, felt Paulie won that fight, but he won that one. He followed that with a performance against Marcos Maidana that really showed us that his corner was nothing because he was in control. He got dropped by Marcos Maidana in this fight and ended up losing a 12-round decision. He also got back on the winning track, had wins over some decent fighters, Carlos Molina, Emmanuel Taylor, John Molina Jr., and then he set up a fight with Sean Porter, again at the welterweight limit, and again demonstrated that he wasn't the same fighter he was at the lower weight class. Sean Porter beat him, although late in that fight, Adrien Broner still proved that he's got punching power because he dropped Sean Porter, which had never been done before. Porter had never been down in his career before, and Broner pretty much with hand speed and the fact that Sean Porter didn't see the punch put him down, but it wasn't enough to win the fight, and Porter didn't seem hurt by it, it came out of nowhere. He did fight his last 3 fights at junior welterweight, Khabib Akhmadov and Ashley Theophane, and then he stopped both of those guys. And in his last fight, he fought Adrian Granados, squeaked by, split decision, 10-round decision. This is a guy that, he's been in the news, all stuff outside of boxing. His skill set, which I thought he possessed at the lower weight classes, still hangs around, but he's not able to apply it, at least in my opinion. Mikey Garcia, ranked at number 3 in the world at lightweight. Now he's moving up. Remember, Adrien Broner ranked number 9 at welterweight. Mikey Garcia being ranked at lightweight because that's the fight and title he holds. Mikey Garcia, listen, a couple of years older at 29, very similar in height, exact same height as a matter of fact, 5'6", and he's got a 1-inch reach disadvantage. He's currently the WBC World Lightweight Champ, and he was a former World Featherweight and Junior Lightweight Champion as well. His big, let me rephrase that. This guy has been in big fights. You go all the way back. If we started with Adrien Broner in 2010, Mikey Garcia beat some big names in the divisions. The one fight that he really dominated in the featherweight division against Matt Remillard, who I actually was a big fan. Matt Remillard was undefeated at that time, but was clearly overmatched against Mikey Garcia. He followed that with some wins over Rafael Guzman, and Juan Carlos Martinez was just a stay busy type fight. Bernabe Concepcion beat him in 2012. Jonathan Victor Barrios beat him in 2012. Orlando Solido him by a technical decision in 2013. And fights. Juan Carlos 2014, 12-round decision for the junior lightweight title. And then he had a 2-year layoff. And the 2-year layoff was based on promotional and management issues. He returned to the ring last year, almost a year ago, on July 30th against Elio Rojas. Now, Rojas was a ranked fighter, but clearly, despite not being in the ring for 2 years, Mikey Garcia showed why he's a top fighter, pound for pound. Knocked him out in 5. In his last fight, he picked up the WBC World Lightweight title against Dejan Zalakishian, stopping him in dramatic fashion in 3 rounds. And Zalakishian was undefeated at 22-0, which sets up this fight against Adrien Broner. The bottom line is this. Adrien Broner has hand speed. He's got defense. He does possess skill. There's no question about it. But somewhere along the line, Adrien Broner really has gotten full of himself, and he thinks he's way better than he is. I think there's a discipline issue here. Obviously, can't make weight. Thinks who he is. does really stupid things outside of the ring, has been in trouble, has done crazy, stupid stuff, trying to emulate Floyd Mayweather. There's only one Floyd Mayweather, and everyone should stop trying to copy him. He is what he is. Adrien Broner, AB, he says, stands for about billions. Never going to happen. Mikey Garcia, about billions ain't going to happen. Mikey Garcia. It's true, though, Sal. Mikey Garcia.
I never heard that. That's great. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Mikey Garcia. Listen, we've said this about Mikey Garcia many, many times. He's a blue-collar fighter, brings his lunch pail to the fight, so to speak. No-nonsense guy. Got a very solid corner with his brother in the corner. Mikey Garcia starts off a little slow, but he breaks down his opponents. The issue here is Mikey Garcia going to be able to handle Adrien Broner's speed. If he can, it's going to be a short night. If he can't, it may take Mikey Garcia a little longer. My prediction, officially, I'm picking Mikey Garcia in this fight. I think Adrien Broner will have his moments, but I think Mikey Garcia is going to break him down. I think Mikey Garcia might win by a knockout, but my official prediction is that he drops Broner in this fight later in the fight, and he wins a decision. It's going to be a close decision because the first couple of rounds are going to go to Adrien Broner, I'm predicting. But at the end of the day, I'm predicting Mikey Garcia. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins by TKO or a knockout, but I think he's going to win this fight by a decision. And because of the fact that I predict that he's going to be a slow starter in this fight, maybe giving up the first 2 or even 3 rounds, it'll be close on the scorecards. But my prediction, Mikey Garcia gets the W. Sal, what's your thoughts on this fight?
I think Mikey Garcia is going to get the W as well. And, I respect Adrien Broner with his skill and his style. And about billions, I don't know. But, I think Adrien Broner had his opportunities and had his time. And I think some of the things he's done or his lifestyle he leads of late and his discipline issue, I think those are all deterrents. And I think those are all taking him away from what he's got to focus on with the blinders. That's getting into shape and being passionate and fighting to win. And like I said, I can't speak for a fighter, but I'm just saying from my observations, black and white issues. So I know he's got corner issues as well. And Mikey Garcia is solid. He's a methodical fighter. He breaks you down. He's textbook. These guys aren't going to do much to deviate from their style, what they do, and what's innate to them as far as what they're going to call upon with their instincts and stuff. So I do see, like you see, Adrien Broner maybe winning a couple of the early rounds. But I think with Mikey Garcia's corner, I think with Mikey Garcia's methodical breakdown of an opponent's style and everything else, I think, and then you have the discipline issues on Adrien Broner, I think Mikey Garcia is going to pull a big night for himself. I think this is Mikey Garcia's time, and I think that Mikey Garcia is going to really show and shock Adrien Broner, and I think he's going to stop him by the 10th round.
One other point that I forgot to make is that, Mikey Garcia knows how to break his opponents down by work. We talked about this yesterday, by working the body. And I think that if he gets the opportunity to get in close to Broner, if Broner's not, if Broner's spending a lot of time today and tomorrow and the next day trying to lose weight, he's not going to be 100%, and he's going to be drained a little bit. And if Garcia can work the body, Sal, he may very well break down Adrien Broner a lot quicker than I thought. So I think the judging, the body shots are going to come into play. Will the judges score the way they should for body shots that are landed flush, or like a lot of judges today don't even score body shots, which is ridiculous. So I think that that's going to be a factor in this fight as well.
I agree with you. I agree 100% with you. And I think that Mikey Garcia, like I said, he's disciplined. He's going to make a plan. He's going to work a plan. I think Adrien Broner, he's going to make his own plan, but he will fight off the cuff. He'll do things that he will normally or naturally do instinctively, which is a good thing. But I think Mikey Garcia, being steadfast, being disciplined, and being one that has an approach and attack, like I said, there's nothing too different you're going to expect from either one of these fighters. They each have their styles. If their styles do look like it's going to make a good fight. And I think that Mikey Garcia's just his discipline, his coming forward, his ability to punch and to box a little bit, but I think he's going to break down. I think he's going to go with the body, and I think you're going to see him breaking down Adrien Broner by the 10th round.
One other fight on this card that I want to give a prediction to, and I'm not a big fan of Charlo and I don't think that that's even a fight that I'm going to talk about. But the fight I do want to talk about is the heavyweight fight between Gerald Washington and Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Miller is 29 years old. He is looking like he's in a little better shape, but he's 6'4" with a 78-inch reach. The heavyweight division by the computer has him ranked at number 28. His two biggest wins on his resume were Donovan Dennis back in 2016, on my birthday, actually, in 2016, and Fred Cassie. They call him Big Fred Cassie, but he's not really that big. He stopped him in 3 rounds. Also, last year in August, Jarrell Miller hasn't fought in almost a year. It was August 19th in his last fight. He steps in with, and I'm not happy with this guy and his weight. I mean, for the Donovan Dennis fight, he was 274 pounds, 274 and a quarter pounds. And in his last fight a year ago, 296 and a half pounds. Now, some people have said he's gotten into some better shape. Just to be at 274 and a quarter, you would have to, have lost 20 pounds. That's not enough. I mean, at 6'4", this guy should be 260 at the most. Whatever. He steps in with Gerald Washington, who's actually taller than him at 6'6", and he's 6 years older at 35. Jarrell Miller's 29, but he's 6'6", and he's got a much longer reach, 82. Gerald Washington, I think, has fought the tougher opposition. He beat Sherman Williams. He beat Skip Scott. He beat Travis Walker, even though Walker was not the same fighter. Nagy Aguilera is a tough fighter to beat. He had a draw with Amir Mansour. He beat Eddie Chambers, who's a boxer. And in his last fight, he got stopped by Deontay Wilder. But leading up to that stoppage, he did seem to catch Deontay with his boxing ability, and that's the key here. This is a guy that's in much better shape. He comes in around 240, 239, something like that, with the height advantage and reach advantage. I mean, he's got a 4-inch reach advantage. I just think his boxing ability is going to win this fight for him. Despite him being older, I think Gerald Washington is a better fighter than Miller. I think Miller is one of the most overrated fighters that have hit the scene in a long time. And for people to suggest that this guy, I mean, he was calling out everybody a few months ago. I would be shocked if Miller wins. If Miller wins this fight, and remember, he is a knockout puncher. He's got an 84% knockout ratio, 18 wins, 16 by knockout. The same amount of wins for Gerald Washington with 12 knockouts. If Miller can knock out Gerald Washington, that's fine. And, that'll pretty much say how one-dimensional he is. But I don't see that happen. I see Gerald Washington outboxing him and winning a decision at least. But then again, Sal, the question of how much wear and tear is on Gerald Washington after being knocked out the way he was against Deontay Wilder.
You just said a big thing and a mouthful. And normally I would have looked at Gerald Washington and agree with you that he's going to outbox and beat Jarrell Miller. But I'll tell you what, that big heavy punch, he couldn't get out of the way of Deontay Wilder. And that may leave a lasting impression and blow. And I think that Miller's got enough time where he's going to land a big shot. And I think that Miller is also going to win by a knockout.
Good deal. All right, well, we disagree on that one. But I got a couple of emails. This first one's from Jesse, my man Jesse. He says, hey, Billy C and Sal, I love boxing on ESPN, but Crawford and Dongo and Vasily Lomachenko against Mariaga are lopsided bouts. Unlike past fights like Pryor or Guego, etc., are the best fights in Hall of Famers on ESPN. No disrespect to Indongo and Mariaga, but they're not Hall of Famers. I want to see Crawford and Lomachenko versus at least considered future Hall of Famers on ESPN, but I guess those bouts would be considered pay-per-view fights, and there's not many future Hall of Famers currently in the lower division. You're asking a lot of ESPN, Jesse, at this stage of the game. I mean, we went from Friday night fights to first getting a good fight on ESPN recently, and as far as Hall of Famers, I mean, let's slow that down a little bit. I mean, let's just be happy with fights on TV. As far as the Crawford and Ndongo fight, listen, that's a unification fight. Whether you think Ndongo is not that good or not, he has 2 belts. He has been silencing the critics. I like this fight. I think that this fight is going to be a tough fight for Terrence Crawford. Don't get me wrong. I think Terrence Crawford is the best in his weight class. I love watching Terrence Crawford fight because he displays everything: defense, boxing ability, and he's not afraid to, step fighting in the pocket. And he's got a little mean streak in him too. He likes to beat up his opponents. I like him. And Ndongo is one of those guys that we've only seen recently after he's won titles, and he's been fighting tough guys, at least on paper. So I wouldn't underestimate Ndongo. As far as Vasily Lomachenko and Mariaga again is an opponent that's being forced upon Lomachenko because of sanctioning bodies. He's the number 1 contender, so we can't fault Lomachenko on that. But all Hall of Famers on ESPN? Come on, slow it down a little bit, Jesse. He says, what's your thoughts on Gilmore against Deloach? I got to give it up to Deloach. He fights undefeated guys, and he's passed these challenges. I like Deloach, the fact that he fights young guys. Nathan Gilmore is 18-1-1 with 15 knockouts, 156 pounds this weekend's being contested. I like the fight too, Jess. He says, I have no desire to see Chavez Jr. again.
Neither way.
I tell you, Chavez Jr. He's got more chances in boxing than Freddy Krueger had lives. I mean, come on. I agree with him there.
Get a manicure.
For sure. I agree with him there. Anyway, let me squeeze this one in real quick, Sal. This is from Johnston. He happens to be in our chat room right now. Hey, Billy C and Sal, these are my predictions for the weekend. First, Broner Garcia. I think Broner will make the weight this time around. If he doesn't, he'll be hit with a $500,000 fine. In his own words, I have no reason to miss the weight. I will be more disciplined. I will not give up $500,000. That says everything we need to know about Adrien Broner. Money is the be-all and end-all to him and nothing else. He says, although Garcia is moving up slightly in weight, I still think he'll carry that punching power into this fight. I'm tipping the blue-collar man to win by knockout between the 5th and 7th round. Broner will get dropped early in the fight, but nothing more than a flash knockdown. He will then come unstuck when he starts to hold excessively. Then gradually Garcia will have him backed up onto the ropes, and he'll find the way to land decisive shots to eventually win by knockout. He says, on the undercard, I'm going for Gerald Washington over Jarrell Miller by unanimous decision. Washington actually impressed me with his skills against Wilder. He won every round until he was knocked out. I think he does the same against Miller. This time he'll finish standing. Jermell Charlo will win early by a clean knockout against Jorge Sebastian Hyland. The Argentine is a slugger, but he's too wide open. I expect Charlo to dominate and look good. Katie Taylor will impress when she takes her bow on American soil. I can see a stoppage from her. I also agree with him on the Charlo. He says, Frampton Gutierrez, this will be anything but easy for Frampton. I expect the young Mexican to cause him all kinds of trouble. This will be the only 3rd time Gutierrez has fought away from Mexican soil, but Belfast is nothing like Vegas or Texas with the passionate Irish crowd behind Frampton. I'm going for a unanimous decision win for the Jackal, but some interesting rounds along the way. Mexico versus Ireland is always a great match to watch. He says, P.S. Billy C., Do your jury service. You don't want to end up like Broner with a contempt charge for failing to make multiple court appearances. Johnston, thanks for your predictions.
That's great. I think he's got a good prediction all across the board, including the jury direction.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think you told me the same thing. But
I did.
Anyway, we are going to take a short break. We come back. I got another email and then some other stuff. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Tell me, Kenny, how is it you rub my belly so fine with that secret rub of yours? And don't even tell me what you're gonna do next. I love you, Kenny Bear. Tell me, Kenny baby, what you gonna do next?
Kenny Bear's Old Florida Barbecue Rub and Seasoning. Grab a bottle today.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us. And speaking of us, I'm here with my man Sal Rocky Sanacola. And Sal, I got one more email. There's those mugs again. Hey, you want to get
those mugs? You want a mug?
You want to get a customized mug from Sal? Drop me an email. I'll hook you up. Billy at Talkin' Boxing. TALKINBOXING. Last email's from my man Joel. Joel says, "Hey Billy C, it was announced yesterday that Top Rank has won the purse bid on the Beterbiev Koling elimination fight. With Beterbiev having differences with his promoter Yvonne Michelle, do you think Bob Arum bid on this in hopes to work with Beterbiev to expand his stable of fighters at 175?" Could be, Joel. That's a good point. Yes, Top Rank won the purse bid, $315,000. Sauerland Events had $80,000. So big time difference there. They got 90 days to put the fight on. 75% of the $315,000 of Beterbiev, 25 to Koling. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only revenue that these fighters will make. Although it seemed that Beterbiev, should be a bigger draw. Unfortunately, because of his promotional problems, This guy's not getting the schedule. He's not getting on the schedule as often as he should. As far as do I think Top Rank will try to snatch him up? Of course. That's Bob Arum's MO, man. You know, of course he wants him. He says, lastly, what do you think of Nonito Donaire signing with Richard Schaefer's Ringside Star Sports? Is there any money to be made with Donaire, who at 34 will put Donaire against lower level to get Donaire a title back? Well, Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports signed Nonito Donaire. I think it's simple, and I don't know about you, Sal, but I think it's pretty simple what Richard Schaefer's doing. He's following the same blueprint that he helped with Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy. If you remember when Golden Boy first hit the scene, they used Oscar as their main guy. They signed a bunch of older fighters that had names like Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, and Sugar Shane Mosley, to name the top three. And over time, they sprinkled in some young fighters, and while the big names were still fighting and developing Golden Boy as a promotional company, they built up these young fighters on the undercard. And then when the torch was passed, because it was, these young fighters became the bigger names, and it gave the promotional company, at this point Golden Boy, the opportunity to attract and sign more fighters. And now, arguably, Golden Boy is one of the top three promotional outfits out there. Well, Richard Schaefer's no dummy. This is a guy that has maneuvered himself with the World Boxing Super Series, which I think is great. He's also picked two weight classes that are popular outside the U.S., which some people could raise their eyebrows at. But the truth of the matter is he knows that he could get revenue stream and some other fighters in other countries. And he certainly has picked every one of these fights for the whole series in both weight classes, super middleweight and cruiserweight, as main events. And he's got people bidding on where to hold these fights. So, he's clearly doing smart moves. And this is another one of those smart moves, Joel. He's taken a name like Nonito Donaire. This guy has a following. He's got a name. Whether he gets another title or not, that's yet to be seen. But he's got a name. Do I see him fighting any tough fights? You know what? You never know. Nonito Donaire, his attitude and interest in boxing was starting to slip a little bit. He had the birth of his child, and he's got a beautiful wife. And, they're still young. For all intent purposes, I don't think he needs money, but I think he might have signed with Richard Schaefer for an opportunity at another big payday, at one of these comfort zone paydays. I don't know, but either way, it's a big name to add to a growing and starting out promotional company like Ringstar. What's your thoughts, Sal?
I think you're right. And I think the format and the gameplay and the plan business model is one that you're going to duplicate a success. And Golden Boy had a great farm system, if you will. If we analogize it to the baseball Yankees or whatever the heck, they develop at a young age, and they pass the torch and they do what they do. And I think that's a great process of developing a promotional outfit. Let the seniors, not the seniors, you know what I mean, the more experienced and more popular names, the fighters that are going to be passing the torch, do so to the younger developing talent that's going to be able to shine later on.
It certainly worked for Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy, and really, I mean, you got to mention Floyd Mayweather too, because Floyd Mayweather Promotions, I mean, he's the big star of Mayweather, and Mayweather Promotions are trying to get more talent, younger talent around. I think Richard Schaefer and the people at Golden Boy, including Oscar, can pick better talent than proved. I'm not really, or some of these other guys that are under the Mayweather banner. But hey, don't forget the young kid that they have, the lightweight. He's good, So Davis, So we'll see what happens there. One last thing I wanted to mention: Victor Ortiz. Remember Victor? No one should take a beat like this. Yes. He's fighting again Sunday on Fox Sports, and he says he's taken on Mexico's Saul Corral as a main event. And Victor Ortiz said, and I quote, "I still feel like it could be one of the best in the 147-pound division. It's there for the taking. There are some gifted fighters in there, and I respect them, but I believe that I have what it takes to be right up there. I'm a complete fighter. You know, Victor Ortiz, I just don't think that the heart and passion is with this guy, and I'm not so sure it ever was. You know, the famous line, I don't think anybody should take a beating like that, when he fought Marcos Maidana. To me, I know he took a lot of heat for it, and it was after he took a beating. But, you know, this guy is kind of successful outside of the boxing ring. It makes me wonder why he's even fighting, maybe fulfilling a contract he's got with Al Haymon. He did sign with Al Haymon. He's in there. He should look good on this fight against Corral in California. I'm not so sure. As far as competing with the big names in the 147-pound division, I mean, I'm thinking guys like Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence Jr. I don't see Ortiz being competitive with those guys at all. I don't know. I think Ortiz is just trying to get himself another payday. I just don't. He's a nice guy. I just don't look at him as being a legit champion or even top contender. What do you think, Sal?
Well, we'll see. I think, you know what, like I said, I don't know what's in each fighter's heart and mind, but I'll give him some credit, and let's see how he performs, and let's see what this next fight shows. I mean, this is a telling fight, one way or the other, and we'll either see it exposed to what you believe it is, or he's still got some fire and passion in him. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah, we will see, and
we will see.
We will see. But hey, programming note: we will not be doing. Well, let me rephrase it. We're not doing a show tomorrow or Friday. So this is the last show for this week. And as far as next week, unfortunately, it's to be determined. Like you heard in the email, I have been forced, legally to make an appearance for jury duty, and I'm going to try.
It's your civic duty.
I'm going to try. Yeah, but they should pick people that want to do it civically.
Yeah, can I tell you something? You know what I often said, but then again, there's enough attorneys in the world that they should choose attorneys. In fact, I'd like to know: are attorneys allowed to be jurors, or does their law degree supersede? On a note that they could actually be objective enough to be a juror. I don't know. But that's an interesting question. Can attorneys be jurors, number one? And then I don't know if I would like that, but I often wondered, with all the attorneys out there, why don't they just select 12 attorneys to be jurors? But then again, you lock them around. You lock them in a room to debate a guilty or not guilty. Forget about it. Be forever.
That's the problem. But the whole theory.
You'll have a defense attorney and a prosecutor both on the same bench.
The whole
and they'll go at it. Forget it. You know what? Forget I even said that.
The whole theory.
Now I know why you're judged by your peers.
Exactly. I was just going to say. The whole theory behind a jury is that it's supposed to be peers, regular peers. And I'm not saying. I think lawyers can do it. I don't know about a whole jury, but I don't want to do it. I've avoided it my whole life. My whole life I've avoided it, and they literally served me with papers to appear, which is total BS.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it, man. You gotta. They summoned me a couple of years ago down here. I got a couple times up in Jersey, but man, first time down here. And it was a decent case. I actually got served twice down here.
Well, I had to get a lawyer. It was terrible. I mean, they seeked me out all these years, and I was like, no, and finally. Anyway, but next week, the best thing to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/talkinboxing, TALKINBOXING, and it'll notify you when we go live, because what's going to happen is I'm going to reach out to Sal and say, hey, listen, I'm done. Tomorrow we do a show.
We're going to do a show.
And we're going to come on. So I don't want to, you could either check wherever you're watching or listening to the show. All of our TV and radio affiliates will have shows anyway to broadcast, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you like the live shows, make sure you check it out. That's all I can say. On this day, July 26th in 1948, Freddie Mills wins a 15-round decision over Gus Lenetovich to win the world light heavyweight title. It took place in London. On this day in 1938, Al Hostek knocks out Freddie Steele in the first round to win the NBA world middleweight title, and that took place in Seattle. On this day In 1894, Tommy Ryan wins a 20-round decision over mysterious Billy Smith to win the world welterweight title, and that took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota, on this day in 1894. On this day in 1923, Johnny Dundee wins a 15-round decision over Eugene Kuricki to win the world featherweight title. It took place in New York City. On this day in 2003, I loved this guy. This guy, he was rushed along too quick, but one of the best fighters I enjoyed watching. Vicious Fernando Vargas stops Fritz Vanderpool. Sorry, Fritzy, he's a good friend of mine. Stops Fritz Vanderpool in the 6th round in their scheduled 10-round junior middleweight fight. He improves to 23 wins and 2 losses in this fight. And on this day in 1981, Lupi Pintor stops Jovito Rengifo in the 8th round to retain his WBC World Bantamweight title, and that took place in Las Vegas on this day, July 26th in 1981. Now, we didn't do our blast from the past today, but don't worry about it. We will tell you all about Gene Fullmer next week. Or not next, maybe, no, I slipped, maybe not next week, the next time, yeah, next time we do a blast, it's going to be on Gene Fullmer. But anyway, hey, listen, I want you guys to all make sure you tune in next time, same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, ciao, baby.